Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic, and today we'll be taking a look at this Lockheed P-38 Lightning by FlyingIron simulations. This is a pre-release version, so it's very much a work in progress. This is not a final product. I'm gonna go over part of the history of this aircraft very briefly, as well as show it around. The P-38 is a World War II American piston engine fighter aircraft, nicknamed by the German Luftwaffe the Gabelschwanz-Teufel, the fork-tailed devil, and by the Japanese two planes, one pilot. It was the only American fighter aircraft in large-scale production throughout American involvement in the war, from Pearl Harbor to victory over Japan Day. The first unit selected to receive P-38s was the 1st Pursuit Group, renamed to 1st Fighter Group in May of 1942. The first P-38s didn't have their cannons fitted, and although they weren't exactly combat ready, they provided West Coast defense during the period. It was believed that a Japanese attack on the US was imminent. They were used most successfully in the Pacific Theater and the China-Burma-India Theater. Eventually they were deployed to North Africa, where on 5 of April 1943, 26 P-38Fs of the 82nd claimed to have destroyed 31 enemy aircraft, earning them their German nickname by disrupting General Rommel's supply lines. The plane had distinctive twin booms and a central nacelle with both the cockpit and armament. Keeping the armament in the nose wasn't common for the US. They usually had wing-mounted with trajectories that would crisscross at one or more points in a conversion zone. Nose-mounted guns could shoot farther away since they weren't really limited by a pattern of conversions. The P-38 Lightning could reliably hit targets up to 1,000 yards away. And look at this. It's very well modeled. It really is. And it had a service ceiling of 40,000 feet. The engines were unusually quiet because the exhausts were muffled by the General Electric turbo superchargers on the twin Allison V12s. It's not V8, it's a V12. The two turbo superchargers also provided the P-38 with good high altitude performance, making it one of the earliest Allied fighters capable of performing well at high altitudes, where it was faster than its German opponents, the Me-109 and the FW-190. Even though the enemies were more maneuverable at low and medium altitudes, when compared to the P-38, having a higher top speed, as well as a higher rate of climb and better armaments, meant that once the pilots figured out the best fighting tactics, they had better success rates. They would climb to a high altitude and then dive down on the enemy, attacking, and then they would climb back up so they could avoid enemy fire. This model includes dive flaps, which sit just below the wings, as you would expect. So it includes dive flaps, which were introduced due to the possibility that the airplane could enter a uncontrollable dive during dives after attaining a speed so high that it locked the elevators in place, making it very hard for the pilot to recover. And I will be showing the dive flaps. They are modeled in. The whole aircraft is modeled in very beautifully. And does it fly well? Yes, it does. I will be showing it around. I'm gonna start the engines, plural. So look at how beautiful this is. You do have a few liveries to choose from. This is just one of them. Down Beach, Evelyn. the attention to detail. Here we have the inside. As you can see, we have all the instruments. This is modeled in. Right here we have the flaps. The dive flaps, it's this switch. So let's press the switch and let's go to the side. And here you have the dive flaps. As you can see, it's right there. And it's the spoilers key if you want to use a hotkey for this. Going back in, coming back out. And it's the red switch on the yoke. You have your throttle, your propeller. Let's go full forward. We are going to be turning this on in a bit. Ooh. Okay, so let's get this just neutral. You can hide your yoke, thankfully, so you can have an easier access to all the switches. Generators coming on. Something that I really like is you can actually close your canopy. So you close it and then you lock it and it's closed. And now you unlock it and you can actually open this again. Very nice. Let's lock this in place. It does have a checklist. So if you're wondering what you should do, it does have a checklist. Here you have your magnetos. And then turning them on. All of your instruments. It does have a GPS in case you want a GPS, which sits right here. And it's the white sticker. At least on this release, things might change for the actual release. This is just a pre-release. Yeah. Right here you have your mixture for both engines. We do have 2 engines, so 2 mixture levers. Right here you have your fuel selection. And just so I can show you guys, it should be on reserve before the engine start, I believe, but I just want to show you the checklist. Canopy closed and locked. Fuel selectors on reserve. Fuel boosters off. They should be on in a bit, I believe, so I'm gonna turn them on. Master switch coming on. Throttle's cracked. Prop control full forward. A little bit of throttle. Prop is full forward. Idle cutoff. It's gonna be forward in a bit, so I'm gonna leave it on forward. Altimeter set, it's set. Flaps up, it's up. And then engine start. Battery should be on. Let's turn this on. Magnetos both are on. Master magneto is this one, which we have turned on. Generators are on. And one thing you're gonna notice when you close this, it basically turns on the generators. So you don't have to flip the switch and then close it, you can just close it. Fuel booster pumps, we did turn this on, as you can see the 2 in the back. And one thing you can do is just press this and it's gonna take you to the switch you need. Very handy. And this says primer as required. And yeah, we do require some primer. At least in my experience, we do require some primer. Let's turn the left engine first. So we're gonna hold this and pull it down. And let's count to 5. There we go. And then you have 2 switches, the engage and the start. So what you want to do is you want to use the engage first and then the start. Up is the left engine, down is the right engine. So I'm gonna zoom out a bit so you can actually see the propeller. it's gonna start turning. We're gonna wait for a bit. It's turning. And then we're gonna start it. Oh, we're moving. Okay, so park and brake would be a good idea. There we go. Looking good. Let's prime the right engine. Count to 5. Looking good. And same deal. So we have the propeller right here. We are gonna pull down now. So engage. It's turning. We let go. We start the engine. There we go. And listen to this engine. Now that we have both engines on, let's keep going through the checklist. We're done here. Engine compass, which is this one. Coolant, auto, off, IO shutters, auto, intercooler. Yeah, we should be good. We should be good. So here you have the IO cooler flap. It does look like we are on automatic, so we should be good. We can bring back the yoke. And in case you have recognized, yes, we are at Meigs Airfield. I'm not sure if you have ever played any of the older flight simulators. If you did, you're gonna recognize this airport. It was demolished in 2003, I want to say. Either 2003, 2002. I think it was 2003. If I remember correctly, the mayor had it bulldozed overnight, or something like that. So you have all of your instruments. We're full forward, and I feel like we're good to actually take off. And this aircraft does have quite a good range if you want to fly this for a little bit. It does have a really good range, especially if you're completely full, like reserve tanks, main tanks, like everything full. You can fly this for a good while. When they were transferring this from the US to Britain, I believe, they actually got to fly this, and it's not a small trip. 45-ish flaps, and take it off. We can retract our landing gear, so let's bring it up. A little bit of a hiccup there. It's a beautiful aircraft, isn't it? Flaps coming up. One thing I will say, keep an eye on your manifold pressure, and right here you have your temperature, on both sides really, but right here you have your temperature. Keep an eye on your temperature, because if you go full throttle like so, you're gonna push this quite a bit. It's gonna get hot, and you might lose an engine. Ask me how I know. Just be careful. So turning all the way to the left, as you can see, it is very maneuverable. There we go. Turning all the way to the right. There we go. I just want to show you the way this flies. And I gotta say, this flies really well. Let's bring the throttle back a little bit. It's getting a little bit hot. We don't like hot. The engine doesn't like hot. I don't like when the engine is hot. Let's turn around a bit. This aircraft does have one thing modeled in that I really liked. I'm gonna have to show you guys. Here you have your lock, and I open the canopy. If you keep flying like this, you're gonna lose the canopy. Yeah, you're gonna lose the canopy. And I just lost the canopy. That's really nice. That's like such a nice touch. And it does make sense. Which is why I liked this so much. We have an airplane there. Let's see if we can kind of intercept this airplane. It should be a real player. I don't believe I have the AI traffic turned on. I might be completely mistaken, but yeah, I don't believe I have the AI traffic on. For the last, I want to say 2-3 updates, I've had some random crashes, so eventually I turned off the AI traffic. It kinda helped. I cleaned my mod folder. It kinda helped. But yeah. I think the guy vanished. Pretty sure the guy vanished. Let's go back. And as I mentioned, this was a really fast aircraft. It can sustain a really good rate of climb. You just have to keep an eye on this. It's getting hot. Yeah. You do have to be a little bit careful with the temperature. Luckily, temperature is not going to be an issue for us. We've got a gentle breeze. Is that the same guy? Maybe. Maybe. We should have the airport right in front of us. And we're gonna be coming in for a landing, which is actually kind of easy to land this. You just have to keep an eye on your airspeed, so control 7? No, 8. 8. 8 for the instruments. We're doing kinda hot. So flaps 1. Let's bring down the landing gear. As you can see, we are smoking. We did push the engines a little bit too far, just a little bit. So, with the engines idling, we should be able to land this properly. Maybe not with the engines fully idling. Not that stable, but we're gonna be good. You just have to believe. I believe. You guys should believe as well. There we go. That was a nice landing. As I mentioned, it's not a hard aircraft to land. Flaps up. Let's slow down. Slamming on the brakes. We don't really have any smoke coming out, which is pretty good actually. Let's taxi out of the runway. There we go. And the temperature is coming back down. We didn't lose the engines, but I think we came close. Since we are back on Meigs Airfield, I do believe when they bulldozed the runway, the planes actually had to take off using the taxiway. And this is the P-38 Lightning by FlyingIron Simulations. I will have a link for their website in my description down below. And when this actually comes out, I will add a link for it as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think, and if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And it also lets me know you guys are enjoying the content, and wherever you are, I hope you stay safe, fly safe. Bye bye.